How's it going, guys? Hope you're all enjoying the Rio Major. I have been loving it, watching Oni's co-stream of it. As I am recording this, I literally just saw FaZe Clan get put out, and I don't know what to think anymore. I think we're going to have a really exciting major this year. I'm also really loving trying to find ways to make these major stickers work, and I am struggling, but it's been pretty fun. Also, just wanted to say I have made a Twitter now. Never really used Twitter, but I thought I would make one so I could share random memes and nonsense that pops into my head throughout the day. And if you don't mind giving me a follow, that way instead of just yelling at an empty room, I'm yelling things at a room with a small amount of people in it. Okay, last thing before we get into the video here, just wanted to say we're getting close to 1,000 subscribers, and I'm definitely going to be doing some form of giveaway, which I'm not really decided on just yet. Also, though, to celebrate this, recently me and my buddies played a quick CS game, and one of my friends actually got dropped a CSGO weapon case, and I'm actually going to be purchasing it from him and opening it. And because I was in the game it was dropped, it's guaranteed a blue gem AK-47, so I think that's going to be really exciting. And lastly, here's a little tutorial video by Oni, and let's get into the video.
Boys, leave Slumbaba some love. Always high quality videos right there. Leave a sub, put on the bell. Cha-ching, ping. Yeah, easy peasy, good guy, good guy.
Today, I wanted to talk about a Counter-Strike skin creator that I'm a really big fan of. Not purely because I think his skins are, you know, just that much more incredible than anyone else's, but because I feel like he is constantly challenging what it means to make a skin in Counter-Strike. He tells stories with the skins. He uses pattern-based skins to create like really rare stuff in the game, and I really think we're going to see him add some absolutely great things to Counter-Strike in the future. And he's one of those skin creators that I think of, and I'm extremely excited that we have someone like him making skins for our game. Some of the stuff you might know him from: he made the Galil AR Black Sand, MP9 Black Sand, Glock 18 Moonrise, Sawed-Off Black Sand, UMP45 Moonrise, FAMAS Crypsis, the G3 SG1 Black Sand, Nova Windblown. He even made some stickers for the CSGO 10 capsule like B-Day and Good vs. Evil. I know a lot of you are thinking right now too, like, oh, the Galil Black Sand, that doesn't push the limits of skin making. Just give me a minute. We're gonna get into it. He has some truly incredible shit that has not been added yet. Also, little disclaimer here before we get into this workshop review. I mean, he has so many skins, I couldn't cover them all. I had to skip some. I originally went through and looked at every skin, and my dumb ass talked for 2 hours probably. It's just not gonna work. I had to go through, I had to just pick some of my favorites, some that I felt we needed to talk about, but I highly, highly encourage you to go to the workshop and peruse for yourself. And if you see one you like, make sure you say you want to see it added to the game. That's what's really important. That's how we get these skins that we love added to Counter-Strike. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the review. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and get to the AK-47 Rebellion. I am a fan of this one. I think this one's very detailed. I love the color scheme. I also love the like scarring on the blue. If we look toward those blue strips all over the gun, it's a little scratched up. I like that. I think the longer you look at this one, the more you see. Like above the magazine, we've got kind of like a skull just slightly above the mag well. We've got a little screen toward the back of the gun that says loading, engine, mag, ain't, whatever. It's very cool. Battery placed in the side over here. I think there's a lot going on with this one. I think stickers would look good on this one, and I'm going to go ahead and give this one a W. I would love to see it in the game. Now we're going to look at these shark attack skins, and I'm not a huge fan of these. If we look at this, I like the red outlining toward the front of it, and I even like that kind of leather sewn on part on the grip and the butt. I'm not a huge fan of the shark. I feel like it's not working with the gun really. And it's just something about how that mag kind of cuts into it. I feel like it should play more to the gun. And I feel like this one, honestly, if you took the shark off, I would like it more. It's just like kind of a bland AK, but I don't know. Just something about that shark. I think this one is going to be our first L from me. And it does some things right, but yeah, just that centerpiece of the shark just isn't doing it for me. And we can look at some of the different colors for this one as well. And it's also on different guns. We can look at the M4 here. And it's same deal. I just feel like it's not fitting to the gun well. We'll go ahead and look at the coral or the shark's reef one. I'm just not feeling it, guys. I'll be honest. I'm trying to give it the best shot I can, but even the one with the fishing lure, I like that background color. It's kind of like a tiger camo of the water or whatever, but I just don't feel like the shark fits well. Okay, here we go. Now we're getting to some of the cool stuff. And a lot of you are familiar with this one, and this is why I made this video. You're gonna see MG here really likes to like kind of push the envelopes in regards to pattern-based skins, and he likes to make them where there are certain patterns that have little rare things in them. And I know you're all familiar with this Urban Moon Fever skin, and you know as well as I that there's a chance you could get a star on that little I think it's the safety of the Glock. It's got a 3.75% drop rate. That's so cool to me. You know, I made a video about patterns recently, and we looked at how, you know, it's a square and you kind of get your skin just randomly from somewhere from in that square. But this one works as in this, it's like the pattern moves across it. It's very cool. I'm not even really sure how that works, but I'm a really big fan of it. And this is where we're going to start to see MG starts pushing the envelope, so to speak. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Monarch skin line. So at first, I was pretty unimpressed with the skin line, especially it being the first skin after the Moon Fever Glock or whatever. I thought that one really pushed the envelope and introduced like kind of newer ideas, and I was like, man, this is kind of bland. But then I read, if you look at this image, it says, Monarch butterflies are hard to spot because of their wings. We use this skill to create effective camo skins. Different colors will adapt to different environments. And so, once again, I mean, I was wrong. He is trying something new here, but there's no description for it, and I'm kind of confused on how it's supposed to work. The idea was to create a camouflage pattern using the Monarch butterfly wings. Animals have naturally a great ability to hide covering, so I think it's very interesting to use this ability on weapons for camouflage purposes. I don't really get how it works. I'll be honest. I thought that was gonna like enlighten me, so I don't really know. Like he kind of made it seem like, I don't know if they can be different colors when they drop, or if they're supposed to change like depending on what map you're on. I don't really get it, but I mean, it seems cool. I can't, like, I don't know if this is different skins or if they're supposed to change, because look, it says randomized pattern, each drop is unique, available in 5 styles. So I think maybe what's supposed to happen here is when it drops, you get a random color scheme. I don't know. I don't think that's possible. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong. I don't think you can make it where the pattern file is different based on the drop or even the color of that pattern file, but could be wrong. It's a cool idea, but I don't think it's possible. I'm gonna give this one a mid. I would have gave this one an L before I found out he's trying, you know, he's kind of pushing the boundaries of what can be done. I think Valve doesn't even have the back end to support something like that in the game, but it would be cool. I mean, it's a cool idea. Now we're looking at the AWP Seas Impaler. This is cool, and I like this one a lot more than the Shark. Definitely making strides to make the fish play to the gun more. I think it fits very well. And we can see here, if we look at this the process of making it, I mean, it definitely fits a lot better. I think it's cool. I like the red toward the front, kind of splashing. It's like he's cutting through the water. Very cool. I think I'm gonna give this one a W. I'd like to see this one. I think it's a cool color scheme. I feel like some of y'all aren't gonna like this one as much though, but I think it fits to the gun pretty well, and I feel pretty solid giving this one a W. Next up, we have the Lethal Injection MP5 SD. We've got this one in what looks to be 3 colorways, I think, and I like this one. I'm a fan. I like the needles coming out of the suppressor. Huge pussy when it comes to needles. I hate them. I like how the forward of the gun, you can kind of see how it's like pressing the like green stuff out of the needles. I think that's really cool. I think the other colors are pretty solid too. I also really like the bandaging toward the back. This one feels like really detailed, and I think it would even look cool in some of its like battle scarred patterns and stuff. And another thing I really like, he did a little like blueprint to kind of show it, and I think that's really cool. But this one definitely going to be a W for me. I would love to see this one in the game. We're not doing anything crazy here though. I think this is definitely a you know, a mil spec, but it would be a super sick mil spec. I'd be really happy to see it in the game. Okay, we got a few. I'm gonna kind of bundle these all up into one. I'll show a few different images, but we have the ghost insects, and we've actually seen this one in a case already, but we can take a better look at it. Here he says, the art of camouflage. This pattern seems to show vegetation with branches and leaves, but no, there are only insects, no leaves, no branches, no vegetation. They are the masters of camouflage. They are the ghost insects. That's really cool. I'm gonna be honest, I knew it had like stick bugs in it, but I never knew the leaves were actually bugs too. That's really cool. And he actually shows the insects that he used here. I think that's really cool. I'm gonna pick one of these up. I think that's really neat. My only critique is I'd like to see something rare in the pattern. I'm absolutely in love with skins that have like a little bitty, like, you know, oop, there's this thing hid over here. Well, you've got a, you know, a 3% chance of it being on the gun somewhere. I just love that stuff. But I think I'm gonna give this one a mid. I think some of the other colorways look cool too, but it's gonna be a mid from me. Next up, we have the Dual Emperors, and it's obviously based off penguins, and it's really neat, actually. At first glance, I didn't even notice they were like mechanical looking like penguins. They're like almost like robots. I think that's really sick. I think they play to these guns well. I think the background looks really cool with the, you know, you've got the penguin taking up most of the gun, but then you got that kind of like cracked ice. I think these are neat, and I'm gonna give them a W. Just real quick before we move on, I just noticed on this one too, the magazine is like a block of ice with the bullets frozen in it. That is really cool. I almost missed that. Next, kind of in the same vein as that one, we've got the Dual Scavengers, and this is kind of the same thing, but you can see we're going with a lot darker palette. I think I prefer the first set with the penguins. These are cool, but I just think I would definitely prefer the others if given the option. And as you can see here too with the magazine, I was curious if he was going to do kind of the same thing. He actually opted to just go ahead and make this one not opaque, I guess you would say, like we don't see bullets inside. Probably a good choice given as how we're kind of going for like a brimstone kind of black back, but I definitely prefer the others. I would give these a mid. Now we've got the M4A1S Wanted. I think this is really, really cool. It was obviously, he was going to get it in that CS20 case. Okay, so see, I didn't even notice that. I thought it was just all, you know, just terrorists. They're from different iterations of Counter-Strike. That's really cool. I think this could lead to some really cool patterns. Oh, and if we look here, the pattern hides a small, special, and rare version showing the headshot icon, a colored visor, and an impact on the terrorist face. That's cool, and it's less than a 5% drop chance. I'm a big fan of that. I think this one would be really cool. I think this skin's really cool, and it's one of the reasons I'm making a video on MG today, because he just challenges everything we know about Counter-Strike skins. I think he has a very unique perspective when he adds these little random things to it. Very cool though, and I'm a very big fan. I give this one a W. Okay, next up, we got another CS20, and this one is called Gamers. Read a little bit about this one. Gamers is a random pattern giving tribute to Counter-Strike and its community. At first, there was Half-Life, then Gamers made a mod from it. Counter-Strike was born. 20 years later, Counter-Strike is still there with a huge community of gamers. And you can see, this is just like pretty much a overshot of a LAN party. Very cool. Lots of details hidden in it. You could find anything on it and kind of aim for it to be the focal point of your gun. I like how in the USP they show in this, you can kind of see the guy from Half-Life is like centered on the stock, and I think that would lead to a lot of really cool unique patterns. I also just noticed looking at it, it looks like they might have done a little nod to Anomaly. Maybe some the creator's an Anomaly fan. That's pretty neat. But I'm gonna give this one a W. I think my favorite is the USP, but I think it would look cool on a lot of stuff, and I would be happy to see this one into the game. But I don't know if we will now that CS20's over, unfortunately, but I would be here for it if it were to get added. Okay, let's look at the M4A4 Clutch. Ooh, we got a whole story with this one. The opponent team, they killed all your teammates, and now they're looking for you. The silhouettes show terrorists with AK-47 rifles. The background shows several elements taken from CS map, like cases, boxes, electrical posts, etc. You can recognize the wagon from DE_train point A. Okay. You are the last counter-terrorist of your team. You try to hide to escape from your opponents. They want to finish the job, but you want to stay alive. The new FBI model has been taken as reference for the artwork. Okay. The bird, the allegory of the clutch, the lightning represents the pressure and the excitation on you. The wings show the threat hovering over you. The talons are your opponents encircling you. Okay, this one's cool. It's a whole story. That's pretty neat. And as you can see here, as he walks through the dark, you can kind of see the glowing lightning. I'm a pretty big fan of this one. At first, when I saw it, something about the CT guy, I was like, I don't see this one making it in, but I think this one's really sick now. And I also just noticed too, if you look at the battle scarred versions, you can see the X's clawed in his eyes, and it says clutch on the mag. I'm a really big fan of this one. I'm gonna have to give this one a W. I would love to see it. And then we have it in kind of a different color scheme here, and it is for Nuke. And I kind of think I like this one more. I think this one is my favorite of the two, because I feel like the color is more cohesive across this one. I think I mentioned something about the CT guy on the other one I didn't like as much, and I think he was a little vibrant. He had a lot of colors going on. This one, you know, it all matches across the whole gun. It's yellow, black, with some grays thrown in. I think this one looks a lot more solid, but still a big W for me. I'd like to see it, and hopefully if they do add it, we'll get that glowing lightning as you like walk in and out of the darkness. Very cool. And here MG obviously heard me say that I didn't like the other shark, and he's like, oh yeah, bitch, check this one out, because this one is a lot cooler and exactly what I wanted to see, as in this one plays to the gun, and it's definitely giving me like Brock vibes. You know, we looked at Brock's AK-47 last time, the creator of the Hyper Beast. He made a Hyper Beast AK-47, and we saw the same thing. They use that magazine as kind of like an open jaw, and this one's really cool. Wicked gnarly shark, got bullets for teeth, very cool. We've got the teeth, actually he's using like normal maps to make them kind of pop out, almost like a foil sticker kind of vibe. Very, very cool. Here we can see the full art, and he kind of points out some stuff on it. Very cool. Ooh, here we go. Now we've got a direct comparison to his OG. He made this 4 years later. Armed to the Teeth is a rework of the Shark Reef I created almost 4 years ago. Many improvements have been made. Better balance of the design on the weapon. You can see the whole shark with its fins. The new shark design fits very well for the weapon. Bullets instead of teeth. Sharks have hundreds of teeth and they lose thousands in their lifetime. You are armed to the teeth. The bullets are normal mapped for very cool lighting effects in the game. It looks cool when you shoot bullets everywhere. Splashes bring speed, energy, and aggressiveness to the skin. This is I fucking love MG so much. This is incredible. It's literally like exactly what I was thinking when I looked at the Shark Reef. I was like, there's something here, but I don't like how it fits to the gun. And he said, okay, sit down, bitch. I remade this stuff from the ground up and it looks incredible. Like, I love this. The normal maps making the bullet pop too is just so cool. I like the yellow version too here that you can see where the kind of the water that he said it gives it that aggressive look is like glowing. Very cool. Big W. Okay, this is exciting. We got the Moonrise AWP. Fingers crossed we see a rare pattern on this one, and we do. We've got the star just below where you hold it. I am a big fan of this one. I like how big it is. We're seeing a ton of buildings and palm trees stretching across the whole gun. I said earlier I'd want to see, we already have the purple Glock, and I was saying I would really like to see a different color, but I think on this one, I kind of want purple. I think the purple looks so cool. And he actually shows here the rarity of getting the star in different places. And you can see the rare spot 1, you got about a 20% chance, and that's with the moon centered over the magwell. Very cool. Then we've got rare star spot 2, and it's toward the back. And then we have the rare star spot 3, where I'm not even seeing the star. Oh, okay, it's in this. Okay, so he's got a second one, and it's in this little hole toward the back. Very cool, and he says that's a 4% chance. But I mean, tell me if y'all disagree with me. I kind of like the one you have a 20% chance to get the most, just because the moon is centered over the magwell. It's fucking beautiful. That one's a big W for me, and I think my favorite is the blue for that one. Now we've got, we can see here, this is when the pearlescent, everybody started making pearlescent skins, and we've got it with the AWP, and this is sick. This is... when I first looked at this one, I didn't really get it, but now when you look at this rotating GIF he has, very cool. But I think that makes it where we can't have the patterns. Yeah, I think that is the case. I think we can only have it in this one. The star is always going to be in this position. So, that makes it so hard to decide for me between, do you want the one that can have different patterns, or do you want the one with the pearlescent? And I think I'm going to have to say I want this pearlescent one, because like I said in the other, I think the one where the moon is centered over the magwell is my favorite. Oh, okay. So this one can be random pattern. So yeah, this is just the one we looked at earlier, but now it has pearlescence. I think that's really cool. Obviously, if you had to choose between with it or without, I think most of us are going to say we want that pearlescence. And this little clip of him playing with it, you really get to see some of that like beautiful color as he inspects it and moves around. Big W. Would love to see it in the game at some point. Okay, next we've got, he's absolutely churning out these Moonrises, and I'm here for it, But we've got the Mac 10, and this one's pretty cool. I think we definitely are gonna have that rare star pattern again on this one. Nothing too crazy going on. Not changing it up much, at least. But the Glock 18 Cave Story. This one is cool. I like the hands toward the bottom. That's something you see when you're looking at old cave art a lot. I think it's cool to put that in the skin. But what I will say is I'm not a huge fan of the snake. I get it's cave art. It's got to be low detail. But hear me out. I think we missed an opportunity here to make a really cool pattern-based skin based off cave art, and I'm actually going to go into that a little bit here. My idea is, what if we made a pattern-based skin that is like a cave wall with different inscriptions all over it? You know, much like when you look at these vast old cave walls with all the little drawings all over it. Kind of like that, except maybe we throw in some like little Counter-Strike Easter eggs in it. And that way when players open it and get the skin, it's pattern based, and you know, they could be trying to get like, oh, the hidden CT symbol is in the center of the Glock, or you know, whatever. I think there's a really cool concept here of a just vast cave wall, and people try to get a specific little drawing on it on their gun. I think that could be a cool idea, and if anyone wants to pursue that, I would love to be a collaborator on it, and we can split the profits 99% my way, 1% your way, and obviously you'll be doing all the work. I like this one more. This one's cool. This one's telling us a story. I really like it. We've got some kind of prehistoric, you know, rhino creature, and it's people battling it with spears toward the front. That is so cool. I like this one so much more than the other. And what I also like is we can look at the butt of the gun, and we can see it's kind of like a butt of a rhino with a tail hanging down. Very cool. Love the handprints on the pump at the front. I think this is my favorite of the like cave line, definitely, and it's a W for me. Next, we have the UMP45, part of the cave stories line, and another one where it's kind of giving us a story. It looks like a hog is kind of charging as people throw their hands in there and run away. I like this one, definitely a mil spec. Again, we see the hands toward the bottom. We've got them on the grips and the bottom of the mag. Very, very cool. I'm a fan of this one. I give this one a W. And I know some of you aren't going to like it because it's pretty bland, but I really do like that he's telling a story with the cave story skins. There we go to the AWP cave story. Okay. Again, you know, we have the hunters toward the front and they're targeting these deer. Yeah, I like, you know, again, we're telling a story with it. Got the hunters, got the hands toward the bottom. Even on the scope, we see them hunting the deer. I like the antlers that kind of fit to the AWP, working their way back to give it some more depth. And these are supposed to be really bland skins, but I think he does a good job of filling these up. We've got that brown on the barrel, so it's not just like a solid stone color. I think this one's cool. Also, too, you can look, if we look at it from the front, we see those hands everywhere. I'm going to go ahead and give this one a W. Pretty bland. Would definitely want to see this one in mil spec category, but I think it'd be cool. We've got the Dream Catcher skins, and I think these are so cool. Like, they're so detailed. We got so many different colors going on. I just love what he's done with the colors, you know. We've got the green leaves, and they're contrasting this, like, lighter purple background, but I really like that he continues the green down the stock and as well on the top. We've got kind of, like, sleepy eyes looking at us in the back. We've got the white waves kind of coming in all over the place. I think this is really cool. I think the other colors of this look really solid as well. I would like to see this one in the game, and I think this could be up there in like the pinks if it were to get added. I'm a big fan though, and I'm going to give it a W. Another Dreams and Nightmare submission here. We've got the M4A1S Nightcall, and we've got this in a few different colors. I really like this one. And the reason I like this one, we've got the constellations kind of forming these animals all over it. And the more you look at it, the more you notice. So starting at the front, we've got this kind of dragon breathing fire across the suppressor. We work our way back. We've got some jellyfish kind of in this forward part of the gun. Then we get to the main body. We've got the beautiful art of the woman, and her head is kind of like cracking with a single star in the middle. And then toward the beginning of the stock of the gun, we notice these birds, and they're kind of flying and flying until we get all the way to the back. And we've got a lot of details of just the constellations in general. Like we can see the Big Dipper. I don't know shit about constellations at all, so there could be more. These could just be constellations. I'd have no idea, but I know we've at the top of the gun toward the handle we have the Big Dipper. That's really cool. I'm sure there's other ones in here as well that are like actual constellations. And then we also have like, I like the white on the handle and the forward sight, you know, the details anywhere on this one that looks bland. If you look closer, you'll see some details on the butt. We have the sleep well. I think it's really cool. And you can see in this shot, if we look at it from the front, the end of the suppressor says sweet dreams, and even on the magazine it says sleep pills. That's pretty cool. I think if I had to pick between the colors available, I think I kind of like the green. I think that would be a cool M4 to see in the game, and I'm a big fan of it. I'm giving this one a W. Then we can move on to the Nightmarization. This one is what made me be like, I gotta make a video on MG. Our story with this one is, you know, this left side, we've got this beautiful dream. It's so peaceful, but you can kind of, if you pay attention, you see the teeth kind of wrapping around it. And then when we turn to the right side, we just see it's a monster, and it's absolutely trying to devour this dream. That's so cool. I love that. Now, I told you earlier, I was like, you know, I like this guy's patterns. I like what he does with cool patterns. This isn't a pattern, but I just love it. I love the idea. And you can really see it here in the front shots too. The nightmare kind of wrapping around to the front, trying to eat the dream. Such a cool idea. It is an absolute shame we didn't get this one in the Dreams and Nightmares case. I feel like he absolutely knocked this one out of the park. Like, I think, let's see, can we see how many votes it got? I feel like no one's seen this. Is there a way? 560? Oh man, I feel like if somebody at Valve saw this, they'd have put it in. I just have to think that. Like, it looks so good. And another thing, if we look at the battle scarring, like, you know, as the condition gets worse, the dream disappears, but the monster stays. That's so cool. Oh, I feel like we got robbed by this not being in the Dreams and Nightmares case. Like, I feel like it hit the mark so well. And if we look, he actually did a second version of this one. And this one's more so the nightmare has, like, I think, consumed the dream at this point. It's the same thing, but, you know, we're kind of missing that dream, and more so there's just an empty void being consumed by the nightmare monster, if you will. And I think it's so beautiful, man. Like, I think it's so cool. You know, we look toward the back here, and you can see, like, we see little peering pieces of that base color, but there's teeth all around it, very much making it evident to us that it is being consumed. I like the shiny, like, kind of fade pattern on the part that hasn't been consumed yet. Very cool. But I think if you're gonna make me pick between this and the other one, I'm going with the first one, because this, you know, the idea of that dream being consumed by a nightmare is so cool. Big huge fat W, seal of approval. I hope we see this one, even though Dreams and Nightmares is over. Such a cool story, and I'm a really big fan.